Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name's Nastasia, and today we are doing a little book review of Love Does, which is probably one of the most popular or well-known books, at least in the Christian kind of genre of books. And it's by Bob Goff, who is a really well-known author and speaker and just overall a great guy. So we are looking at that today, but before we get into it, if you end up liking this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss out on a video every time I post. If you are interested in book reviews, I do have a couple on my channel already, and my goal is to read at least 2 books a month this year. Which when I say at least, it'll probably be barely 2 books a month this year. So I'll have lots more book reviews coming your way, probably at least 2 a month if I can. So without any more chit chat, I'm going to get into this book. So I actually got this book years ago when I was at school at Liberty, and Bob Goff came to speak. He was just so enthusiastic and nice and just a really good guy. So it looks like this. It's really pretty. Mine's a little scratched up because I've had it a couple years and I just now finished it. If you don't know, I have a hard time with starting books and then finding new ones I want to do and finding new ones and starting like a million books at once and never finishing them. But I'm fixing that this year. And so this one was, when I bought it, $16.99 US pricing, but it could be different now and stuff. It is 215 pages, I believe, not including the epilogue, yeah. And so it's not a super long read, but the idea of it is just talking about love. So Bob Goff is kind of a champion for the idea of loving your neighbor as yourself, and he shows that through this book in so many experiences of his life. So really every chapter is kind of talking about a different life experience. And he has had a very interesting life, so it does keep you quite entertained. He was / still is, but has for a long time been an attorney, a very, very good one too. And it talks about how now he is like an attorney, or I guess like a really high up attorney representing Uganda or something like that. And it's just, honestly, it's incredible how the Lord has used him. But while he's an attorney, he's still so kind and caring and jolly and happy all the time. But like, he's just had so many incredible experiences, and that is because he says, you know what, I trust God and we're going to go with it, and I'm going to love people as hard as I possibly can. And he's taught his family the same lesson. So that's really what the book is about. It's kind of influencing you of like, this is what love looks like, this is what love does. So with that being said, I am going to read a few of my favorite quotes, because I've obviously underlined all through this book and stuff. I love doing that. So I'm going to find some of my favorite underlines and read them for you. Okay, so this chapter in specific is kind of about dreaming and dreaming big, and that God does want to fulfill your dreams when they're in line with his will. And so this was saying, when we want to do something that we know is right and good, God places that desire deep in our hearts because he wants it for us and it honors him. God made it so that ordinary people like you and me can launch each other. So basically building each other up in your dreams. And when God puts a dream deep in your heart and it doesn't go away, the passion doesn't go away, it's there for a reason and you should follow it. Also, his wife, her name's Maria, but he calls her Sweet Maria through the whole book, and just how much he loves her. Ugh, it freaking melts my heart. I love it so much. And this is a good quote. It says, "It's always seemed to me that broken things, just like broken people, get used more. It's probably because God has more pieces to work with." I love that. You don't have to be all put together for God to use you. Actually, he wants every little crazy part of your life. He wants to make something beautiful out of it. This is a good one. The chapter is called Just Say Yes, so all about just taking a risk when God asks you to. And it says, maybe God is doing some inexplicable things in your life. Each of us gets to decide every time whether to lean in or step back, to say yes, ignore it, or tell God why he has the wrong person. It's about the story of Joseph in it, which you guys know I love. I quote it all the time. So trusting that God has chosen you for a purpose to do hard things. I love this chapter. It's called Wow, What a Hit. And to start out the chapter, it says, I used to think the words spoken about us describe who we are, but now I know they shape who we are. And the whole chapter is kind of about like when people build you up or when you build yourself up with like words and stuff, you become that. But when you tear yourself down with words, you become that as well. And so just really speaking kind of into existence what is truth about you and how God sees you. I love this quote. I believed him because of who he was. Words spoken by kind people have the ability to endure in our lives. And it was about him as a kid looking up to like a store clerk and just how much influence you have on people just by being kind and loving, and that it really does carry for the rest of their lives sometimes. Just a kind thing you could say to somebody. I love this. You become like the people you hang around, and to a great degree you end up going where they're headed. So being aware of who you're spending your time with if you want to end up where they're going. And that could be a good or a bad thing. Oh, yeah, this is a good one to end it on. What I've learned the more time I've spent following Jesus is that God delights in answering our impossible prayers. Oh, I love that, because I have a few impossible prayers for the year, and I have faith, and I believe that God will answer them. So this book I have, underlined lots of quotes in. It's a good, solid read. Would I recommend it? I would. I actually really enjoyed this book. I feel like it's an easy read. I feel like it is a good, solid message. There's really nothing controversial in this. It's all just pure, like, loving people. And just being called to love others as yourself, as Jesus commands us to do. I also believe that it is worth the money, just because I think this is a book that you can go back to many times. And also it's a good book to pass on as well. So when you're done with it, you can give it to somebody, especially like if somebody's like a newer Christian or they're trying to understand Jesus a little bit more. I think this is a really good book for that, because it doesn't deal with a lot of like too deep theological concepts or where you have to have a biblical background or anything to understand it. It's just like really good, solid knowledge about how to love people, the way Jesus calls us to love. And so I think it's really good. It's a really easy read. It's definitely not something where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to read this book every single day. Like, you know, it was an easy read to pick up and an easy read to put down. So keep that in mind, I guess. Like, I wasn't so obsessed with it, but I feel like it takes a lot for a nonfiction book for me to be obsessed with it. But I really did enjoy it. I would rate this book an 8 out of 10, only because my 9s and my 10s out of 10s are like reserved for the best books I've ever read in my life, and it's super, super rare, but this is a really, really good book. I definitely recommend it, and I think you guys would really enjoy it, or anything else by Bob Goff. I have the sequel to this book, which is called, I have it up, Everybody Always. I was looking at my bookshelf. So this is Love Does. The second one is Everybody Always. I'll be reading that this year as well, but that is my review on Love Does. Have you read it before? Comment down below if you've read this before, if you've wanted to, what your thoughts on it were. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be having lots more book reviews coming up, but also comment down below what book I should read next. I do have some like on my shelves waiting for me to read, but I would always love suggestions of books that you guys love too. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time.